found my berries.
Your berries.
My berries?
Yeah, buried alive.
And I found it in a guy named Charles Caswell, who, for you guys probably that are watching this, I'm going to post this to the Gent Group page, so a lot of you guys are probably familiar with this gentleman. He's used to be in a band called Reflections.
Right.
So Reflections, for you guys that don't know, is a super relevant, I guess, well, the genre would be Gent still, but very progressive kind of like band. So basically what happened was, is just so that everybody has like an understanding of how this album, or why this album exists. This album exists because a couple of years ago, Reflections kind of had a falling out with Charles, and basically Charles came to the conclusion that they were pretty much stealing his material. He wasn't happy. He felt they were really taking advantage of him, and so he ended up leaving. A couple years later now, I think it's about like 2 years later, Charles has been at home working in his own private, in his space. You know, the equipment that he's recording on is pretty good. He's got a Legator signature, but his equipment's not the best. So the production on the album overall is
Now,
not the greatest.
what album number is this?
For Berried?
Yeah.
1.
This is the first one?
The first one ever.
Alright, as soon as I put on Soul Sucker, I said, I was listening to it, and I'm going, wow, the production is not good.
Right.
I said, Josh, this is not good production. I said, what's going on here? I said, this is not a well-known band. I said, why is it like this? And you said, oh, you know, it's just one guy.
It's just
I said,
him.
oh, I said, never mind. I
Yeah.
said, I respect this then, because it's one man doing all of the work here.
Right.
So, I mean, I do respect the album for, you know, one man here. It's good for what it is.
And Charles is probably one of the nastiest guitarists I have ever seen in my life, dude. Demonstrated that time and time again in Reflections. If you go online and watch any of his videos, you can see it immediately. Him just like tearing it the fuck up, dude.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's evident on the first track, Alarm Clock from Hell. Like that first track just like slams right out of the gate, dude. Like you know that this guy's not bullshit. Okay, so,
Yeah.
you know, and that whole situation kind of revolves around back to the reason why the album's called Soul Suckers, because he literally felt like they were draining the life out of him and just his creativity and everything like that. So,
Alright.
like I said, Charles has basically put this entire album together by himself, and he's probably one of the most respectable guitar players like I've ever seen.
He definitely throws a lot of like melodic parts in there, but I mean, for the most part, the album is pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I really liked Broken Hero. I mean,
Right.
that was a very melodic one, but that was probably my favorite one.
And that's the thing too, is, you know, Charles has really come out of his zone and tried to find himself as a solo project, or you know, in the future, which most likely will become not a solo project. I don't know, I understand nobody will want to get on with this, dude, because this shit's just insane. You know, we continue through the album, and it's got, you know, what is it? It's Jet, dude. It's a lot of complicated rhythmic stuff, super heavy. Like I said, I almost like the fact that this record is not
Like, well
typically
known.
produced. I feel like for him, that this record is a complete testament to how nasty this guy actually is. Because he's not hiding behind anything. He's not hiding behind any sort of production whatsoever. He doesn't have, you know, somebody there to go crazy with the mixing and to do all that stuff. This is just him. So, you know, as a musician or anybody listening to it, you gotta give props to this dude, because this is just insane what he's done. He's got that just like that grit, but then throws these insane lead lines and just melodies into it.
Maybe, I think with respect to him, I think maybe the lack of notoriety, like, behind, like, this project and everything like that, that's what makes the album enjoyable, I think,
Yeah.
a little bit. There's no pressure into having to make the music that he has to make, like he would be if he's in a band.
Right.
He can make anything he wants with this, and I think that's, you know, the music's enjoyable, obviously, and then it's respect with that, too.
Dude, just, like, you can go through any of the playthroughs, and, like, I encourage everybody to watch the playthrough for that song, Hump, because, like, that's the one where he does that shit with his foot on that box. And I was just like, dude, this guy is, like, insane. Like,
yeah, he's very good.
He's just, like, so nasty, dude. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I've seen a definite dip in Reflection since he's been gone, personally. I mean, I still like Reflections, but man, dude, it's just so evident how much of their sound Charles was, and they just don't rip the same way. To me, like I said, I still very much enjoy Reflections, but
That's why you listen to this.
Exactly, the reason why I've listened to Berried Alive and followed Charles after I know how talented he is, so definitely check this record out. It's available on iTunes. I don't know if it's on Spotify.
It is.
Is it on Spotify? Oh, okay, yeah. So it's on iTunes and Spotify. You can probably get it on Amazon, any of those major, outlets. And check this out. Check his playthroughs out on this channel. And let us know what you think in the comment section below.
Give it a listen.
Or a taste even. That's one of the things that I absolutely love about Gent, like that whole kind of scene, dude, is like.
I wasn't gonna laugh when he started.
I'm sorry, but I read poop potty.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm not. I'll put that in after the video ends, but still.
I'd expect him to laugh so much.